Scan a travel brochure for Copenhagen, and you'll find this exact view. Bright, candy-colored townhouses reflected in a calm canal under a clear blue sky. Hans Christian Andersen, author of The Little Mermaid, found this setting so quintessential he lived in 3 different houses along this water. King Christian V commissioned this waterway as a strategic maritime gateway, forcing Swedish prisoners of war to carve a supply line 350 years ago from the open sea directly into the city's heart. Behind the saturated colors of the modern facades lies a physical fault line, a strict geographic boundary that once separated vast wealth from desperate poverty. The canal is a rigid border. On a map, it splits the neighborhood into 2 distinct halves, the odd-numbered buildings on the north and the even-numbered properties to the south. This division was dictated by the sun. The northern bank is bathed in light, earning it the name the sunny side, while the southern bank sits in permanent shadow. These 2 opposing banks operated as separate worlds, housing 2 very different versions of Copenhagen's history. For centuries, the sunny side was the domain of the working class, a harbor front packed with dock laborers, merchants, and transient sailors. To house this massive workforce cheaply, developers built narrow timber and plaster houses, packing them together to maximize the number of residents. This concentration of port workers created a notorious red light district. The sunny side flooded with rowdy taverns, brothels, and the earliest tattoo parlors in Scandinavia. It was a place of constant sensory overload, loud, perpetually busy, and so prone to unrest that local police maintained a permanent, heavy presence. The sunny side functioned as the harbor's engine room, where the physical labor required for global maritime trade fell to the city's poorest residents. Across the water, the architecture changes. The cramped timber of the northern bank gives way to massive brick Baroque mansions built for the city's elite. The capital required to build these estates was generated through the triangular transatlantic slave trade. Danish merchant fleets operated a lucrative route, shipping goods to West Africa, trading for enslaved people, and forcing those captives to the Caribbean to harvest sugar and tobacco. This colonial economy was built directly into the shady side. Sugar refineries operated in the courtyards, and elite families funded their mansions with Caribbean profits. Denmark transported over 100,000 enslaved people during this era, making it the 7th largest slave-trading nation in Europe. The quiet, shaded mansions of Copenhagen's elite were built using the wealth extracted from distant colonies and human suffering. By the mid-20th century, modern shipping outgrew the narrow canal. The maritime economy collapsed, leaving Nyhavn a decaying, abandoned slum. In the 1970s and 80s, the city intervened. They banned cars, pedestrianized the quays, and began a massive spatial reclamation project. In the context of Danish urban design, Hygge functions as a calculated strategy of socio-material engineering. To combat the Danish wind and cold, restaurants deploy physical tools, industrial heat lamps, heavy blankets, and strategic windbreaks, allowing people to gather comfortably outside. The city mandates a specific lightscape. Dimmed amber LED fixtures and flickering petroleum lamps replace harsh electrical streetlights. Modern Danish comfort is an engineered environmental response designed to overwrite a divided past and create the physical conditions for social cohesion. Today, you can stand at the edge of the canal and observe how these 2 historically opposed sides interact. The sunny side has retained its identity as a bustling hub, transformed from a sailor slum into the longest bar in Scandinavia, crowded with diners and drinkers. The shady side serves as a quiet observational gallery, where locals sit on the docks to watch the lively action across the water. The water between them is now filled with wooden museum ships, neutral artifacts that provide a shared heritage for the modern neighborhood. Nyhavn's legacy lies in the choice to take a space born of class division and colonial greed and engineer it into a shared sanctuary for human connection.